questions to ask you about.
Well,
So many.
I do the research sometimes.
All right.
And I'll help you.
Sometimes.
We've been doing this for better part of 5 years now, right? Over
At least
5
on
years.
YouTube.
On YouTube for 5 years. Yeah.
And in that time, there's been a lot of comments and questions about E150A and what part it plays in our whiskey and how it affects the flavor.
Very
and there's a
good
lot
point.
of people that are negative on it, like actively searching out bottles that do not contain any sort of coloring whatsoever. That's fine. Totally understand that. But then there's a lot of people that beat up bottles that do have some coloring. And so I thought it would be interesting to ask you some questions about what E150 is, what it does to the whiskey, and maybe we can do some experiments to see.
Does it matter? Should we care?
Right?
Well, I think we're going to find out tonight.
Okay.
So I happen to bring a little bottle of Distillers Caramel. That's the E150A. So you can get it like $6 on Amazon. Anybody can get it.
There we go.
So if you're distilling your own whiskey, which is illegal in the United States, but if you do it in other countries, you can add coloring to it if you want and make it look like a real fancy, make your moonshine.
For the record, this is a clear bottle. The glass is clear. I just want you. It's not a brown.
It's dark.
It's not a brown bottle. Oh my gosh.
And essentially, E150. So has anybody ever made caramel, where you take that nice white sugar and you cook it and it gets darker and darker and darker?
And you put it in
That's
a
essentially what
syringe.
they do
No,
here.
That's right.
Is they make it darker and darker and darker until it's the color they want. And it's essentially carbohydrates or sugar, whatever they want, whatever they use. There's not really a set. And they just cook it until it's dark. And then it's nice and concentrated, and they put some water in it to make it fluid and sell it.
So I did a little bit of research, and so I have just a few questions. So there are 4 different kinds of E150. It's not just the one that we all talk about all the time.
Correct.
There's A, B, C, and D.
That's correct.
And the difference being that the E150A is just the carbohydrates. There's no additives
Correct.
put in it.
The E150A is really best for spirits, and the other thing about E150A is it's more color fast than the other E150s. So that means that you can put light on it, and it's not going to break down really quickly. So it will stand up to light. So that's kind of the beauty of putting it in a clear glass bottle. It's not going to fade when it sits in the sun. Now it may fade a little bit, but the other E150s, B, C, and D, they are generally a different pH. They're not kind of a neutral pH, and so they tend to break down more in adverse conditions. So you lose your coloring. That's why a lot of those are more food additives, and this is more a liquid spirit additive.
So then, let me get the ones right. So E150B has sulfites added to it as a reactant.
So how's that?
Well, essentially, it's a sulfur compound that is really stable in an acidic environment. So if you have like a tomato paste or something like that that's really acidic, and you add a little color to it, you can add E150B, and it's gonna hold that color better because it's an acidic environment. It's designed to hold up in an acidic environment, and it won't break down.
So is that the coloring McKellen uses? Why I get that sulfur?
No.
Oh, okay. I had to ask.
Scotch has to use E150A.
Okay.
Yes, because it's a spirit based or spirit designed and color fast.
Okay.
But I saw something. So E150C has ammonium as a reactant.
Yeah, so that's more for
what?
basic foods. So that is one, like if you have caramel flavored yogurt, and they probably put coloring in it to make it look like it's got caramel in it. But it's E150C because it's designed for basic food.
Oh, I ain't that.
All right.
Okay, so what are we doing here, Doc?
So what we're going to do is I want you to open that bottle of E150, and I want you to smell it.
Okay. Smell the bottle.
So you're going to be smelling the raw spirit. And tell me
Hey,
what
everyone.
you're smelling.
Smells like caramel.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh my
This is
God.
kind of like the equivalent of like food dye. Like
I mean,
it's
I gotta tell you,
strong.
honestly, it's so strong, caramel. It reminds me of like Indian food. It's strong.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I mean, it's. I've made caramel in the kitchen 100 times, and that's caramel for sure.
stronger than
So
hell.
what you
my
can
gosh,
see here,
yeah.
what we're starting with, so one of the best examples I wanted to just describe and talk to you
Keep the lid
today
on this guy.
was
Yeah, it
starting with
stains.
a fairly neutral, not over the top whiskey, and add coloring to it, and see if they can tell. Because when you think about it, if you're starting from water, it's so neutral. You're more likely to be able to detect, and the differences there. So what we're doing here is we're going to start with the Glenmoe Original. So Glenmoe is well known that they take this original and they make all their Santas and everything out of it. So this is kind of a good base spirit. Not a lot of barrel influence in it, but there's some. Probably there's already color in it because it's just a 10-year-old. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to add 4 drops of coloring to it. So you'll be able to see it. I don't know how maybe
get
take
close
that
up
up to
there.
the
Let me
camera.
get the camera so you can see what we're doing here.
All right, get to the camera so I can see how close. Sorry, so this is Glenmoe 10.
Glenmoe 10. So
Look at
it's
that color itself for a
it's
second.
lightly
Let focus.
colored.
Real light, like straw color.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty light.
All right, and you're gonna put 4 drops in?
4 drops in here.
Do me a favor and put a drop on my finger. I want to feel how thick that stuff is. How is it? It's actually not as. I thought it was going to be like super thick and sticky. I mean, it's sticky a little bit, but it's a little more viscous or liquidy than
and
I thought.
oddly enough, it's not alcohol based. It's basically water based colorant. So I thought that was unique. So
Hang
I'm
on.
going to start
That's
this
good
with
stuff.
That's crazy. That's
That is
crazy.
nuts.
4 drops.
Wow.
4 drops.
Let me see that.
Wait a minute. Let me give it a good shake.
4 drops turned it into Dalmore.
No, we weren't gonna call names.
Damn.
Come on now.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you pour me a glass of Dalmore,
I'm drinking
gonna
Oh, I
drink
am
it.
too.
But
No doubt.
it is a dark colored whiskey, and they make no bones about
And
whether
lots
or not
of-
they put
lots
it
So
in.
you can play with that. While they do
Bottlers.
that, I'm going to take one of these glasses and drop 4 drops in it.
That is
and then-
crazy.
That's incredible. That's like a sherry bomb.
For the podcasters, that whiskey went from a light straw colored whiskey to a dark, almost like
Ruby.
yeah.
All right, you guys look away so you don't.
Still smells like Glenmoe.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. So, do you detect any aroma on it? You guys.
No, I mean it smells like Glenmorangie, and that was with 4 drops. So I mean, how much are we really talking about putting into a bottle, Andrew? Like 4 drops in a bottle? If you were just like evening out the color and it was reasonably close?
I would doubt that much because you don't change a bottle that much. Well,
True.
of course, that's per bottle. So admittedly, I don't know.
So I mean, we're talking about 4 drops
Uh-oh.
in an ounce of whiskey
yes.
versus 4 drops in 25 and a half ounces of
Probably
whiskey.
be
Right.
more than 4 drops in one. 4 drops in one bottle. You probably would have a little bit more of that, but I don't know how much.
But I mean, not 25 times more, right?
God, that smells like.
So I mean,
candy.
we're going heavy even with 4 drops.
Correct. So what I want you to do, guys, is pass these around. Make every effort not to look at them,
Okay.
but do your nosing and a taste. But really try not, try and close your eyes when you have a glass. If you look, you're going to be able to tell
There
because
might
while
be
these glasses
just-
do have some color to them,
You can look down.
you'll
and see.
still be able to
So
see.
for podcasters, I just poured another glass of
There it
Glenmoe
is.
Original.
That's
There it
unblind.
is.
Huh? I want
Well, we're
to
gonna-
smell them.
We're gonna do it here.
Well, yeah, but now you just.
I think there's a big difference.
Well, let's do it blind and we'll
Oh.
see.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the whole point of the
I
experiment,
know.
the analytical tool.
Just doing
Oh.
it. After visually seeing it,
screwed
I
up
think there's a
then,
big
I'm sorry.
difference.
All right, no, we'll see. So if you guys want to take your turns,
So now we got to
Yep.
pick which one's
now,
which.
now,
Don't
now,
look.
now it's blind.
All
So now
right,
it's
so
blind.
now we've for the podcasters, we've got 2 glasses that are masked. We can't see what's in them.
I'm looking
one
up as I'm
has,
smelling.
One has Glenmoe, and one has Glenmoe with 4 drops of E150. And we're assuming that they had the same
Man,
amount in the glass when you poured them, right?
Yep.
They did.
Okay.
Andrew's good about that.
Yeah,
It's analytical.
I'm
close
gonna say
enough.
that.
I mean,
I'm gonna say this one is, but I can't. I have no idea.
just remember what you're thinking. Remember your call.
Okay.
Dun, dun,
It's
dun.
so. I mean, I'm guessing based on maybe a hint of something, but God, it's almost undetectable if anything.
Well, and if you just calibrated your nose on this, that
When I mean, I guess I didn't.
I will say
calibrated my
that
nose.
that one has a little bit more of just a little bit more of a floral nose about it, and the other one,
Floral.
it's tamped down just a little bit.
Okay.
I have a guess.
and that's fine.
So it won't wait. I really don't know the difference. Let's all 3 guess at the same time.
I'm
All right, sip them. Go ahead and sip
I think
them.
that one's the based on the nose, but
What do you guys take? What do you think, Mark? Based on the
I'm
nose.
waiting. I'll based on the nose. You're gonna do that to me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Based on the nose, I'm going to say that the gold glass was unaltered,
Okay.
Hang on.
Correct.
and the blue glass had
Now, can you
the
taste
E150. I don't know. We'll see.
So
need
I'm
that
going to
blue
do
in
the
it.
same thing.
Wait, are you saying he was right, or did you say it?
I didn't say.
Okay, good. I'm gonna say the blue one's unaltered. I'm gonna say that's the blue one's Glenmoe, and the gold one is Glenmoe with 4 drops.
I mean, it's probably some.
He said it's probably.
No, I
Hang on.
mean-
I owe Zach.
Now the beauty is,
Thanks, brother.
You guys did. You were able to calibrate your nose a little bit, but you didn't calibrate your palate.
So I think that the purple one. I shouldn't say anything. Never mind. I'll wait till you guys are. Well, I don't want
You judge. You
to skew their taste either.
Just water.
I think I have something that's going to give me a little bit of a clearer picture. I'm hoping.
Andrew, did you add water to the non-E150 glass?
I did not.
No.
I added only
The-
coloring.
The only thing there's a slight difference on the nose, but I don't really get a whole lot of difference on the
The
palate.
palate, I got nothing.
The only thing I got in the palate was I felt like one had a longer finish.
No, man. So the blue one, the blue one's got something else in it. The blue one's different.
It is on the nose.
I think so.
Take
too.
a sip. Did
But
you take a sip?
not a whole lot.
Keep in mind, this is just altered, so it hasn't had a chance for that
True.
caramel nose to.
And how many drops did you add? 4?
For.
Okay.
Hang on.
So I gotta say, based off of what we've done thus far, I would say that there is a slight difference on the nose.
I would agree.
But I would also point out that the amount that you put in is probably excessive compared to what
Yeah.
they probably use.
I don't think there's any
So-
difference on the palate.
And I really can't taste any difference.
The purple tasted like it had a longer finish to me.
So I would say that there is maybe some subtle differences, but I mean, if you had crappy whiskey there
So-
before and you put
but-
some caramel color in it, it's still going to be crappy whiskey.
But you nailed it. I mean, it's the amount of what we did here. The 4 drops is way excessive compared to. I mean, you would not normally taste
So
this.
when we did this in Scotland 3 years ago, or whatever, I'll be honest. So it was blind. I blindfolded myself. The guy had a glass of water, 2 glasses of water, and he put E150 in one, and I was able to tell the
It was
discernible difference.
easy.
But he poured a shit ton of
He poured
E150. I
some.
mean, he poured a tablespoon, and you know. So
That's
to
all
me,
it-
that's way more than you're ever gonna get in a glass or
All
a
right.
bottle.
So you guys were right. The blue had the E150 in it.
It
Blue-
did.
The blue
It
had 4 drops of E150 in it. Now, does that look like a good whiskey to you?
It does look a fabulous whiskey.
That's water with 2 drops.
Wow.
Take a shot of
That's
that.
2 drops.
Water with 2
And
drops
one
of
of these
E150.
has water with 2 drops.
Oh, so
right.
we don't know which one it is.
All right, well,
Don't
Same
smell it,
thing.
don't taste
So
it.
one has it, one doesn't.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
so we're backing off the concentration. I mean, do you really see that much difference between the 4 drops? I mean, there's a difference between 4
Okay.
drops
Yeah.
and 2 drops. But
I can.
It's definitely darker with the 4.
can you
wowzer.
smell it?
Yeah. Slightly.
Okay.
Slightly. Like that's a hint, like almost.
Hey,
like a
Whiskey
burning
Mystery.
Yep.
smell.
Mysteries in the house.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so I had no idea what you guys even said.
That we could smell it.
I don't know about all that.
Now, again, go back and see
It
if you
will
can taste
smell like shitty water.
it. It's Meyer
I know. It
Purified
smells like a
drinking
well
water.
to me.
Have a sip.
purified drinking water.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a sip of it and see if you can taste it.
It's like a smoldering to that purple.
Tastes like Meyer water.
So he's drinking both of these glasses. They're
Tastes like
water.
Meyer water.
You can't tell the difference.
No.
On the
Not-
nose
not
at all?
Nope. Nope. I got nothing. They're both water.
So this experiment may be slightly colored by the fact that I just added them. And
What do you mean by that?
Well, because there's a nose to this. And as you know, when you, if you can smell this, wow, yeah,
It's strong.
There's a strong nose to that.
You smell the tape?
I smell the tape.
That's what I
Interesting.
No, I smell.
I didn't get any difference on the palate at all.
right.
No,
Uh-oh. Drew's dialing in.
no. There's a.
He's too close for missiles.
That-
He's switching to
there's-
guns.
There's
Dang!
There's a slight difference.
Which one's got you want?
This one.
Yeah, that's right. So that's
I can taste-
That's a black glass. And
I
it's
can
completely
taste.
black.
I can taste like
How do
I
you
can
smell
taste
that
the
nose?
caramel. I can taste a hint of caramel.
I get it on the nose.
But I taste
Oh, you
that
do.
smell.
You do. You get just a hint of that caramel on the nose.
Yep. I mean, it's
So-
not strong, but it's there.
So. Okay.
I
so
I
let's
think the
prove it.
takeaway from me from this little experiment is if there's E150 in your whiskey, I'm gonna get it on the nose, not on the palate. And
I would definitely think that's probably.
I would also say that if it's a case where they're going to put some in to get the color right, and then they're going to leave it in a vat for a while to kind of marry everything up, that may waft off, and you may not even be able to tell that part of it.
And honestly, think about this, right? Think of the. I'm not going to name them. Think of some of the whiskeys everybody always talks about with the E150 in it. The coloring and the smell. I'll give you that. You're right. But with all the other flavors going on, do you think the E150 is going to caramelize it that much to give it that kind of vanilla or caramel tones to it? The whiskey's not already have in it? I don't think so.
Now,
So-
I will say the one thing that I'm shocked about is how dark it gets it in a hurry.
It's
Wow,
a coloring
right?
thing for sure.
So if you are using that,
Two drops of water makes that darker than the entire bottle of Glenmoe.
I would say if you're using that as a marketing ploy to try and get people to think that your whiskey is older or has been aged longer, if you're using some like kind of crappy barrels, but they're port barrels still, but you're gonna darken up your whiskey to make it look like it's a good whiskey, like that's probably some BS.
I can
right?
tell you this much, that E150 does not have near the amount of effect or effect is really what I'm looking for as a sherry seasoned cask. A
Yes.
wet cask. You know what I mean?
Oh, not even
now-
close.
Right. So, I mean, I get it. If people want to be, I don't want to use the word snobbish. If you want to be perfectionist and say, I need non-chill filtered whiskey without...
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yeah,
That's
I get you.
fine.
But I will not turn my nose up at a whiskey because it's been chill filtered or because I know it's got color in it. And I appreciate they're trying to make a standard product, but...
it's not enough to push you away.
It's not for me. It really
No.
isn't. At the end of the day, it all comes down to whether I enjoy it or not anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good experiment.
It's
really
fun.
interesting.
Fun to
I
mess
was
with,
I was
that's
not
for sure.
anticipating you guys to be able to pick this much.
Hey man, happy Thursday.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Love y'all.